Welcome back to House Blend on SCV TV. I'm your host, Stephen K. Peeples, and our next band is fronted by a Texas-born songwriter, musician, and Grammy-winning producer named Gary McGrath, who calls Newhall home these days. It's the McGrath Project, and it features an all-star lineup. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Thanks for having me.
All right, before we hear a song from the project's latest album, Love is a Four-Letter Word, I'd like to hear a little bit more about your early years, particularly how you came to win a couple of Grammys.
Well, as a kid, I was in the Texas Boys Choir, and the choir had some Grammys in the 60s. And when I was in it, we would go to a recording studio every year, and we record 5 or 6 songs. And the local classical station in Dallas-Fort Worth let the choir have their own program every Sunday for about 2 hours, I believe it was. And the executive director noticed that I liked making compilation tapes, and I'd always come up to him with mixtures of their old records and new stuff that we did. And I'd hand him stuff. So I'd play this on the radio, play this on the radio. And he never had time to do it himself, so he kept using them. And I finally just took a tape of my favorite songs that we did for the past 3 years that I was in it, and called Columbia artists up who represented the choir before, and they must have thought I was the secretary. And I said, how come the boys' choir is not doing any more records with you? And they said, well, your executive director changed in the late 70s, so we've lost contact. I said, well, let me send you an album. And I sent them a record. They mastered, they put it out, and Kersplot, it won a Grammy Award for Best Classical Album.
Oh, that's pretty amazing.
And then they said, well, can we do a follow-up? And the executive director said, well, let's make a Christmas record. And I said, just out of being a joke, saying, well, since I put this together, I, want to do all the solos. And they actually bought it. And so I did 6 solos on a 14-song record, and it won a Grammy the next year, and I got counted as a producer on it, and there it is.
Fantastic. So what did you do from that point?
Cartwheels. Lots of them. And from that point on, I just went back to school like every other kid. You were, at that point in time, the choir, you could be in it from 4th grade until your voice changed. So when my voice changed in 8th grade, I was very mad because the choir was scheduled to sing at the Miss America pageant, and I was really angry.
Yeah, you really missed it.
I was really angry at that. I didn't care the fact that I got to sing for the Pope. I wanted to sing at Miss America, but you know, whatever. And from that, I just I was in a bunch of different little bands and had some success touring all over the country, and that was that.
No, you were doing classical stuff as a kid, then you know, more folk and country stuff a little bit later on.
Yeah, a little bit later on.
More rock and roll. How did all of this come together now? At this point, you're pretty much cross-genre. You can cover a lot of different styles.
Yeah, it's definitely cross-genre. And the funny thing about Fort Worth, Texas, is it has more money given to its fine arts than any other city in the country. And so there's 130 different working theaters in Dallas-Fort Worth alone. So it was no shortage of doing, you know, productions of operas like Tosca and Hansel and Gretel, and doing all sorts of different plays like Oliver, and so I was doing that a lot. But it's strange being, you know, you don't get many of the cheerleaders running after you when you sing Oliver. So I decided rock and roll was a better fit. There it went.
There you go. Well, the McGrath Project, you're now on the 2nd album.
Yes.
And we're going to hear a track from that in a couple of minutes. But the album's called Love is a Four-Letter Word.
Yes.
Right? Okay, and what are we going to hear from that?
Well, we're going to hear Your Secret Is Out, which was the first single pushed to radio, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Here on House Blend, here is the McGrath Project with Your Secret Is Out.
Remember when I met you? You were on the ground, bleeding, crying. Will I help you? I didn't know what I found. Now that I see through your tears, you shackle think I wouldn't figure it out with all the signs that you were posting. The truth had to come out. Will you ever get your feet firmly on the ground and just take this heart, the one that you had? I've been hurt before, but never by such lies. Now I laugh about your secret is out. I've been hurt before, but never by such lies. Now I laugh out loud. Your secret is out. Your secret is out. You're out. Your secret is out.
That's the McGrath Project with Your Secret Is Out on House Blend. It's from the Santa Clarita Valley Band's second album, the double CD, Love is a Four-Letter Word. Now, a double album, that's kind of a rarity these days.
Yes. It was actually done by accident. We were in the studio, and it was myself and Tim Bogert of Vanilla Fudge and Cactus, and Mike Dubkey of Wasp, and John Mellencamp's band, and Dean Mennerly, and who's done some work with Three Dog Night, and Aretha Franklin, and myself. And we were recording it, and it just, more songs kept coming and coming and coming, and I just had to get these voices out of my head, so it just kept going and going and going. And luck and fate really intervened, and we got Ann Marita. And she came in at the tail end of the project, and we had songs that I was originally singing lead on and never liked, and she said, well, I want to take a stab at it, and
So
definitely
get rid of your vocals.
Oh yeah, definitely get rid of my vocals.
Gone.
Well, some of them turned into duets.
Yes.
Anyway.
That's cool.
And then she was able to get a few songs and some writing in some of the in the record. And actually, my favorite song on the record is a song that she wrote with myself and Dean, and it's just piano and her vocals, and it's called Goodbyes. That's my favorite one on the record.
Cool,
actually.
cool. Now let's rewind a little bit. The McGrath Project started when? What was your concept for it? How did it get started?
The concept really came from a dear friend of mine. His name's Eric Dover. He's the original lead singer for Slash's Snake Pit. And he kept seeing me write songs constantly. He's like, why aren't you performing? Why aren't you doing this? Why don't you have a band? And so he introduced me to Teddy Zigzag, who's the keyboard player on November Rain and did the Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion records and tours. And Teddy came to me, and we had Brian Head from Foreigner playing drums, and we got Tim Bogert of Vanilla Fudge, and that was it. And we went into the studio and took all these songs that I had and recorded them in a day. And we literally played it like a live concert. We played each song twice, and the one that we hated the least got to be the backing track, and I sang through all the vocals once, and we pressed the record and put it out.
And then started sessions on the next one right away.
Well, when the record got printed, we got copies of it, and we all went, okay, this is great. And then we started doing a lot of performances around town, and I just listened to it, and everyone's like, what do you think of this record? It's selling really well, and I just hated it. So I looked at everyone, I'm going to write new songs, we're going to go in the studio, and they all went, what? We just made a record. No, let's tour. And I went, no, I want to be proud of it.
Well, it's
And
good that you
this.
did. It's good that you did, because the second album, once it was finished, was very well received, and there's a gold record involved.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, that was a...
Break that thing out and tell us about it.
This was a very big shock, and we got a call saying that the record went silver, And I was like, well,
one song went
one
silver.
song went silver. And I was like, well, what's silver? And they said, well, it's in the UK. And I said, well, that's fantastic. We're in California. And they said, well, you're going to receive your silver record. Congratulations. And I called Ann up and I said, we got a silver single. And she's like, nah, I'll believe it when I see it. And so it arrived in the mail yesterday, and we've been carrying it around everywhere we go.
Turned out it wasn't silver, though.
It wasn't silver, it was gold. Actually, I got a call at some ungodly musician hour like 8 a.m. and answered the phone. This very nice British lady says, is this the address I need to send your gold record to? And I said, yeah, what? I said, gold? You mean silver? She said, no, I'm looking at it. It's gold. And she read the platelet, and it's a new company. That's Rhapsody is one of the leading internet distributions for the UK, and it's something that they're handing out with requests through the BBC radio and with sales and downloads, and it all equaled up to 500,000 units.
Well, that's pretty amazing. So you guys have an international following now. That's
Apparently
great.
we do.
Apparently we do, yeah.
Well, that's thanks to the web. Now, how can people find Gary McGrath, McGrath Project Music, the latest album?
You can find everything on iTunes, Rhapsody, Napster, Amazon.com, everything you can possibly think of where music is. Just look for the McGrath Project. We have our website, themcgrathproject.com. And we're going to be touring all over the U.S. and the U.K. over the next year, so just check the McGrathproject.com and see where we are.
Fantastic. Okay, that's Gary McGrath and crew from the McGrath Project on House Blend here on SCV TV. Thanks so much for guesting on the show, you guys. We'll hope to see you again soon. Now, again, if you're a solo artist or have a group and you'd like to appear on House Blend, or you're a music fan and you'd like to come down to the studio for our next taping, send us an email at houseblend@scvtv.com.
Your secret is out. Did you not really think I wouldn't figure